There we go. Now we're on. Brooks Curry, how you doing, mate?
Hey, Brett, I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Now, where are you coming from?
I'm coming out of Berkeley today.
Hmm,
So finished up
nice.
practice this morning. Had the single morning today, uh, lift and swim. So pretty good. Yeah.
What is the Berkeley schedule for you? Tell me, what does a typical week look like?
Normally it's like uh, Tuesday and Thursday lift and swim single,
Hmm.
and Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be the double schedule with
Monday,
lifts.
Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yep.
are you just in the gym twice a week?
So I'm lift a five day group, and we used to split it with Dryland, but now it's like 5 day in the gym.
So even on the double swim days, you're in the gym as well.
Yes, yes.
Wow, that's intense,
Mhm.
man. It's a lot. So nine swims. What is it? Nine swims and five gym.
Yes, yep.
Wow, that's a lot.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, just getting to know you over Christmas. We spent a bit of time together up at the Colorado Springs U.S. training facility up there, and you guys at Cal were doing some work up there. And I got to watch you. You do tend to lean more to the traditional side, hey, with your sprinting. You like to do some middle distance training with sprint training as well, hey?
I do, yes. And I think that's just because like I got that 200. Really want to have a good 200 this summer. And I like doing kind of repeat effort sets like that, and to get with the aerobic base, like
Yeah,
have some of that.
yeah. Well, it fits you,
Yeah.
and you're probably grown up with it. It makes you feel comfortable, and there's no point in changing something that's working. So, you did say you're interested in swimming the 200. Is that different for you? You don't usually swim that long course, right?
I mean, so it is new. I did it the first time at World Trials. I believe that was my first time hitting the 200. But I've been eyeing it for a little while, and wanted to convert that over from short course. I had a really good 200 in short course,
Mm.
and I think I can stand with the U.S. guys in the 200 this summer for sure. So it's definitely going to be a focus now.
So is it primarily then 100, 200? Is the 50 just a swim for you, or are you actually trying to make the team in that?
I mean, I'd love to make the team in the 50, just with how competitive it is. I mean, not saying that I can't do it. I'm fully capable of making a team in the 50. It's just I don't know. A lot of things kind of have to fall into place in that race. I think sometimes, and I don't know. It's a shot, but it's definitely not like a focus in training. If you want to look at it like that, I definitely train more for the 100 and the 200, and the 50 kind of comes with it. And I do a little bit of 50 training as well, but a lot of that translates over from the 100.
Is the 100 where you feel most comfortable because you do have speed and endurance? It's kind of that middle point of comfort.
I do like the 100. I'm kind of split in the 100 and the 200 right now. Kind of.
Mm.
I mean, I feel like I'm better in the 100. It's just the 200 is
Mhm.
easier to hit sometimes in competitions, even though like it definitely hurts the most. I would say that. I mean, for me, I've been more consistent with the 200. Um, I guess recently, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of splitting hairs when it's like tenths and halves a second, but
And I guess what's the first event at trials? It's got to be the 200, I imagine.
um,
I think you guys
yeah, the
200.
200 the 200 goes into the 100. It's like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
200 final goes into 100.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yep.
then and then it goes into the 50. So it's kind of like, yeah. That's
Yep.
that's a lot of swimming. That's a lot to prepare for. And different events. Is it difficult to spread it that wide, that thin, in terms of training for those three different events?
I don't find it to be too difficult. No. I mean, I enjoy having the split. I like getting the low group, and that's kind of when I get to focus on the details more and work on 100 aspect is probably not as much as the 200 one, like obviously in the low group. But I don't think it's too hard to spread it out because we kind of have time to hit everything. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, going back to the previous Olympics, there wasn't tons of people throwing your name in kind of the discussion to be on that 4x1, I'd imagine. I mean, it was a little bit of a shock. You came through and and produced at the trials. When it comes to that, having that experience in the past, what would you say to people that are going into their first trials and possibly thinking about making an Olympic team?
I mean, for me, something that was really important at trials was not having like expectations going into the meet, just kind of having, just trying to swim as fast as I can and have the best races I can. And I think that helps a lot because I mean, a good saying is that anybody can be beaten on any day, and I think that's really true. So I mean, if you prepare and take care of the things that you need to do, that might give you an edge on somebody that maybe didn't um, take as much care in their preparations.
Yeah, I saw a photo of you on Instagram where you kind of like got this mirror image of yourself. You're kind of like staring at yourself on the block, and it's like,
Yep.
my biggest competitor is always the man in the mirror. Is that kind of the way you look at racing?
I mean, for sure, I do, and I mean, I definitely look at my teammates and competitors as well, like comparing myself, and I try not to do that, but it's hard not to do that. But it's always against yourself and improving on things that you can do better. And I mean, and yeah, and I think it's like a battle against like your mentality. If you're not focused or something on the day that you need to be, then that's kind of, I don't know, you need to figure out how to get focused in that environment. Um, yeah, it's kind of a battle against yourself. I think swimming is a very mental sport. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
What were you ranked? Do you remember going into the 100 freestyle before the event kicked off at the trials? What was your ranking?
Um, I want to say like top 40 for sure. I would say
Yeah.
top 40. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like you're outside. You
Yeah.
weren't you weren't coming from 80th, but you
Right.
weren't kind of in the top 5 or 6.
Right. Definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Mhm.
Yeah. I find it interesting. We don't talk about this often enough, and I believe we don't train it enough either. This whole idea of turning up and having a number put on you, like let's say you discover that you're 40th, right? And then you swim the prelims and you've got to beat however many people are there, and you've got to somehow finish in the top 16. Then you go to top 16 and you've got to somehow finish in the top 8. And then in order to be on the relay team, you've got to go from top 8 to somehow finish in the top 4. And then if you want an individual spot, you've got to somehow finish in the top 2. So it's like you're constantly just chipping away at people around you and ahead of you, aren't you?
I mean, yeah, that's right. 100%. And I think that's why trials is such a hard meet, is because you got the semifinal, and you got to be on the
Mm,
prelim, semi, and final, especially in the final. If you're going to make the team in the 50 in the top
mhm.
two positions.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. How do you handle that? How do you handle the rounds? Like obviously you want to swim fast enough to even kind of settle the nerves a little bit, right? Like that first swim is like get the nerves out maybe and just feel comfortable. And then, you've got to obviously do something in the semifinal to make sure that you advance to the final. And then in the final, you got to have enough left in the tank to somehow make another jump forward. You're generally going to put yourself in the best position to make the team if you move ahead of yourself from your time, right? So how do
That's
you
right.
handle the rounds yourself?
I mean, for me at trials, I was putting my best effort forward every round, and I believe that I consistently got faster from the prelim to the final. It might
Mm,
have been a little bit slower in the semi, but then faster in the final. I can't remember exactly, but I mean, I think that's it's kind of just like shaking some meat rust off and that excitement as you kind of move through the meet.
mm.
And I guess I dealt with that in a good way, so I could be focused in the final. Um, but yeah.
Did you experience a huge amount of nerves at the trials? Like how did you deal with whatever was going on inside you?
I definitely got some nerves, but it wasn't anything that was too crazy, which I'm kind of thankful for because I know a lot of people struggle at that meet. Kind of looking up and around and seeing big it is and how bright and everything that's going on. But it wasn't too bad for me. Just kind of keeping your head down and maintaining the things that you can do just helps you stay in your lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Who are the players this time around for America? Who are the guys? Let's say, if you were to pick a top 6 right now, I don't know. Like you're in the inner circle. I'm on the outside looking in. Who's your top 6 right now in America? You think in the 100?
Honestly, there are a lot of guys. Such a competitive field in this race, especially. Top 6, I don't even know. Like,
well, you train with one of them, right?
Right. Yeah, I train with Jack for sure. I'm definitely confident that we can be in the top 6. I mean, then you got Ryan and Caleb, and let's see who else. I mean, there's so many dudes. It's like Kieran can swim the 100, Drew can swim the 100. Then you got DC Speed, David Curtis.
There's tons of guys. Let me ask you this, then I'll make it a little bit easier on you. What does it take? First of all, let's start with this. What does it take to make top 8 at the trials in America? What's the number you're looking at, you think?
Top 8, I think it's going to be under 48 for sure.
Really? So you think 8 guys are going to go 47?
I think it might be 6 guys, maybe.
Yeah. So right around 48 flat or something like that, huh?
Right. That's what I would imagine.
Yeah.
That's what I plan for, at least. Individually,
what do you think gets the individual spots 1 and 2 at the trials?
It'll be a 47 low to mid.
Yeah, that sounds about right, huh?
Yeah. I think it'd be around there, 47.5, maybe around there.
Now, what are you right now? 47.8?
My best was 47.90, I think.
47.90.
8.5 or 9.0.
So what do you think? Where do you make up the ground if you want to finish top 2? Are you looking at the front end of that thing, or are you looking at the back end? How do you go from where you were 47.9 to 47.5?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of from all around. So, I mean, working start details is going to be a big thing, and transferring that speed from the start through the first 30, through the first 25, and then definitely in and out of the turns is a big point. And then I've been working my back end speed like crazy recently. Just been working that, and I think that's a big component as well. Just the closing 15, 20. Yeah, I think.
So what is it for you in terms of comfort on the way out? What gives you the speed you need to go out in, but the comfort level to be able to turn back? So like, what's your splits you're looking at, front end and back end?
I mean, if I can be from 22.5 to 22.8, probably, to maybe 22.9, it's probably a little bit too slow. Probably 22.5 to 8 to feet. And then just whatever I got left coming back 24. I mean, I would like to be 24 low, 24.0 maybe. So
what's the best you've ever been back in?
I want to say 20, honestly, like 24.9, not crazy compared to that. So,
which is kind of slow for you. I mean,
right,
in the sense that you train middle distance, you've got a 200 in you. You don't go crazy out, so you should be able to get that 24 low, 24 mid at least, for sure.
Right. It's just, the struggle has just been kind of figuring out the balance between like throttling back like just enough on the first 50 to be able to be able to come back. Like,
is that something you can notice in a race now? If you're hitting it too hard on the front end?
I guess it depends on like sometimes like whatever physical shape I'm in. If I'm tired, then I can definitely feel it if I'm punching it. But I mean, sometimes you just kind of feel it till you're in the last 30, and you'd be like, oh, it's starting to hurt a little bit, starting to sting. But I mean, yeah.
What about your breathing pattern in terms of getting the oxygen you need to be able to finish the race? How do you map it out?
Um, Starting to take more breaths on the first 50 now,
Mm,
just to keep some more air on the last 50. But used to be breathing fours. Now I'm starting to work in a little bit of both fours and
mm,
twos. So
nice.
yeah.
I like it, man. Are you the type of guy that likes to watch yourself swim, or you stay away from that?
I do. I like to definitely watch like the slow mo and
Mm.
analyze my videos for sure. Yeah, I think that's a big part. Um, I mean, of just improving like your stroke, just to be able to see it from another perspective is super important. I think.
Other than the stuff that you're doing in the water, is there anything outside the pool that's been different lately for you?
Uh, I mean, I've been hitting recovery a lot harder. I've
Mm,
been able to get in the sauna a lot with some teammates here,
mm,
um, and yeah, I've been able to take care of myself pretty well. Uh, been cooking a lot of food myself, so I
mm.
mean, I think that's good with the diet. So yeah,
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so the recovery side of it, just being ready to be at your maximum potential for each workout, hey?
yep, that's right.
I love it. Now, with the change, you and I were talking about why you ended up picking Cal to come and swim there. You spent some time with Dave Durden, Coach Durden, at one of the pre camp meets and for a couple of weeks, and just really enjoyed your time with him. What's kind of been some of the big differences between what you were doing before and what you're doing now?
So I mean, I don't know. It's not like I think training can be so wildly different from the next program. Maybe if you go from a training program that is
Right.
has their belief system like in high aerobic and lots of volume. Um, but I mean, I'm coming from a similar program where we believe similar things,
Yeah.
and I've just been able. I don't know. I've been able to work at a really high level, and I think it's been great.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, What's it like to train with guys that are contending for the same positions you're in? Like a Jack Alexi. You're going to be contending against him as well, not only with him, but ultimately, hopefully, with him, but certainly against him. So, what's it like to train with people that are fighting for the same thing?
It's great. I mean, you get to see like your competitor and your training partner next to you. Like, I mean, that sounds simple, but it's. I think it's a really important and valuable like aspect of training to be able to see like. I mean, if you're pacing with them, or if you're faster than them, or slower than them, then that's something that's you can easily see, and you can check yourself and keep track of yourself kind of a lot better than
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
didn't have somebody like that.
yeah, yeah. Just somebody to push you as
Right.
well.
Right.
And then you've got the Swedish giant there next to you as well. Huh?
That's right. Yeah. That's
He's a
Mr.
beast as
Bjorn.
well.
Yep.
Bjorn, yeah, Bjorn. Were you at that meet the other day with Cal and ASU?
Yeah, I was watching in the stands. It was
How
a
was
great meet
that?
to
Pretty
watch.
pretty crazy.
It was exciting. The stands were packed. Um,
Yeah.
it was really cool to see. It was raining though, and
Mm.
everybody was still there, um, getting rained on. So it was cool. It was pretty loud, and yeah, they had some great energy going.
It's different, hey. Teams suiting up these days to race each other. It's a different kind of concept, different way to approach in-season swimming. How do you feel about it?
I think it's exciting. I mean, why not? I think just throw a suit on for a day, go against your some of your rivals. I think why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
What's it like to see Marshawn? I haven't seen him in the flesh really, like race. Is he as good as everybody says he is?
I mean, I would say he's very good. He's a very talented swimmer. So I mean, I definitely can't knock him. But yeah, I mean, guy's legit for sure.
What's he doing? What's he doing well, you think? He just clean everywhere, is he?
Yeah, he's super clean. Really good technique. Um, he's able to just get like through the open turns. He's able to just get in and out very quickly.
Yeah, skill wise, hey, he's just so
Mm-hmm.
tight on his skills.
Yeah, it was really good.
That's awesome. Hey, yeah, crazy. What about Paris, man? Are you excited about the potential of swimming in Paris, racing in Paris?
Yes, I am very excited. I mean, that's going to be a dream come true again. Like, I think it's like a goal that every swimmer works towards, and very fortunate that I can be working towards that. But yeah, it's very exciting, and I'm excited to go to practice every day to work forward to that, to work towards
What
that.
about the mullet, man? Are we going to bring the mullet back?
Yeah, a few of the guys have asked me about it. I don't know. I think I might have been there, done that. I kind of grew that mullet out really, really long, and now I kind of don't really want one anymore. But it was fun while it lasted.
It ran its course, hey?
Yeah, I guess so.
Just like the jorts. Is that where the jean shorts, you used to wear those too, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know. I might bring another pair to the next trials. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think that'd be fun.
I love it. What about a taper for you? What does that look like? How much taper do you have, and when does it start?
For like a full taper, like if I'm really resting, I think like a good 3, maybe 4, like a 4th week of like initial come down. But I think solid 3 weeks is good for me. That's how I start to feel. I mean, honestly, like I can drop taper like pretty quick and feel fast in a couple days. But I definitely like to rest for a couple weeks for sure.
Do you go through cycles where you're having those good days, bad days? You feel really awkward on some of those taper days?
Yeah, taper blues. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely have those days. Try to go fast and nothing's happening that day. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you work through that? How do you kind of, account for that? It's like you just expect it's going to happen.
I mean, some of it can be like subconscious as well. It's like, oh, if I'm feeling tired today, then it's going to feel bad in the pool. But, I mean, for me, like, I guess last year, when I was feeling bad one day, I just remember grabbing my teammate and we just did a couple dive, like 15s or 25s after we did like the bulk yardage of the day. And, just did a couple dives and some fast stuff just to feel like something good that day. And I mean, I don't know, just picking one thing to focus on that day and to feel good about it, I think is the best thing to do when you're feeling like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good advice. Because we're all going to go through it. It's just something you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
If you've been working hard enough, it should hit you real hard too. It should be a couple of days maybe where it just drags on a bit.
That's right, for sure. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: we were talking again a few weeks back, and you were saying there's a possibility of, maybe another year of college. Is that gone now?
So I mean, it's not official right now. I'll probably will not speak on that until it is official, if that's all right.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I was in the portal for a little bit, not in the portal anymore, but was having some talks, and that's kind of about it.
How long until it becomes official then? Let's say that.
Well, you may not hear anything if it does, so.
Oh, okay. just go on to the Olympics and
well, I mean, yeah, if it doesn't happen, then I guess definitely won't hear anything.
Yeah.
But if it does happen, then I don't know, you might see me sometime soon.
Well, let's say this thing. Well, I'm in my head, I'm like, there's no chance. So you're telling me there's a chance.
Oh, I guess like we're still trying to see. So
okay,
I don't really know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's it's not dead and it's not alive. It's just still what it is. So
yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. How do you how do your family feel about the move and where you are now? Like, where did you grow up?
So I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and yeah.
Who was your club coach? Where'd you swim?
Dynamo.
Oh,
Swim Ian
cool.
Murray.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Not far from where I was living for a while.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Auburn, Alabama.
Oh
So,
yeah. That's right. That's right. That's right.
forever. So, oh, that's cool. And then why did you end up picking LSU?
I mean, I thought it was definitely my best opportunity at the time, being a recruit coming out of high school, and hitting my official visit there. I love the campus, and the campus is super pretty, and all the guys I had a great official visit, and yeah, I mean, it was a really good opportunity, so took advantage of that for sure.
Yeah, I love it. And you were certainly a superstar. What is it about you? Is there a combination? I'm expecting there's a combination between like real raw talent and then just, grittiness and hard work. Do you sense that about yourself as well?
I guess, what more do you mean? What else do you mean by that?
Well, you're essentially a superstar at LSU, right? Like you're one of these guys that just stood out. So what made you stand out from the rest of them, you think? What was the separator between you and everybody else?
Um, Shoot. I mean, I don't know if I could really like point it on something. I mean, I do remember like some days in practice, like where we'd just be hitting some really long practices, and sometimes I would just be like, I mean, because I would watch like sprint videos, and I'd be like, okay, how are these guys getting this timing and tempo down? I'm
Mm,
just gonna mess around and play around in the water for a little bit until I can figure it out. And that
mm,
was sometime in my freshman year, and it took a little while to figure it out. Probably took like multiple days, but I remember the day it clicked, and then I would just be doing things like that. I would just be like picking
mm.
things that had seen, and then just spend time working on them. And I mean, not saying that other people didn't do that, but
But that's
you
interesting.
know,
Like intuitively, you were able to kind of like pick things up by watching it and studying it and then working on it. Um, a lot of people don't do that. Like that's not a normal thing, right? Like I think a lot of
right.
people are just told what to do often, and it seemed like you were in there playing, trying to figure it out yourself.
Right, and for me, it was like just trying to to come from like an efficiency side.
Mm,
It's like I didn't want to be dragging around all of this like drag
mm,
and I guess like extra water weight, like if I didn't have to. So I was just trying to figure out ways to be more efficient in the water, and that's definitely something that has helped me out.
Talk to me about that because I'm super interested in that too, just in terms of efficiency. What are some of the things you discovered about yourself that make you more efficient?
I think it's just developing like something that helps become more efficient is like just really getting the coordination of like the connection and feel with the
Mm,
water, like from your fingertips to your toes. You got to be able
yeah.
to feel the water when you push off, and you got to be able to transfer that power at the right time.
Mm,
And if you can do that, it's going to be very efficient.
I like that. Yeah, it's a connection and feel thing for you then. So like
Yeah.
you're putting your hand in here, but you're aware of exactly what that hand is doing in relation to everything else in order to maximize that potential of holding water then.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And it's pretty clear. Like I don't know if you've studied yourself, but when I look at you, you've got an awkwardly shaped body in terms of like it looks very aquatic. Like when you look at Phelps and it just looks a
Right.
little awkward, but like aquatically, it just looks perfect.
Right.
You're very similar in that sense. You look very aquatic the way that you kind of put together.
Well, thank you.
Is that a weird thing to say? I
I
mean,
don't know. I think it's a compliment in this sport. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely feel that when I look at you, I'm like, because I'm looking at you're looking at other people, I'm looking at everybody, I'm looking at you. I'm like, how does this dude swim so fast? It's like when you look at you outside the deck, it's like you're not the biggest, strongest, crazy looking, but you generate so much speed and power when you put it all together. It's just fascinating.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's just comes from like a water feel,
right.
and strength coordination, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And just a willingness to want to dive deeper into that and figure out. It's kind of like an art. You look at it like an art almost, right?
I mean, I would think it is, because like, I don't know, you can't. I mean, you can in a 50, but just like muscle through and fight the water, you definitely can't do that. Like if you're fighting the water, you're going to be going slow, and so you have to
Right.
be working with the water, or like flowing with the water, so you can move quicker.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing I'm always telling people, like, don't beat the hell out of the water. You're not in a fight with the water. You're in a dance with the water. You know, you want to connect with the water. It's almost like the water is your dance partner and you both want to connect and flow together. You're not trying to beat the hell out of
That's right.
partner, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's good. I can definitely recognize that in you. That's the way you see it, and that's the way you feel it once you're in the water. Yeah, it's very cool. It's different. Not everybody's like that, you know. Everybody sees things differently, but you're definitely kind of a very intuitive aquatic creature, you know.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's cool. You know, it's like you see someone play guitar, and you're just like, how does that person do that with a guitar? It's just like they're just naturally just like flowing with the strings and the chords.
Yeah,
And it's just like, yeah,
that's true.
see that in different walks of life too.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely seen some wizard guitars and thought that.
Yeah, exactly. It's very similar. So that's cool. What's your best time in the 200 then right now?
200 is 130, 146.3.
146.3. Okay. That's good. That's a good swim, and it's not going to take much more than that really to make it, especially in the top 8, but certainly maybe top 4 or 5 in the country. You know, it's 145 somewhere in there. You know, I think, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think 145 would be good. I mean, I think top time in the country is 44 high, I think. So I mean, obviously I'd like to win, but yeah, I'd be happy with anything in there. So
yeah.
When
it comes to winning and losing and competing, like we said earlier, you know, it's you against yourself, but there are other people in the pool at the same time. So how do you interact competitively with the people that are in the pool, but at the same time you're getting the best out of yourself?
I mean, I think it's good to like be social, like with those people in your competition, and be courteous and nice and things like that. But I mean, I don't know. You don't have to take it anywhere else other than that. Like you can just be in your own lane and see your competition across the pool and kind of just like see them and use that as energy in your pre-race. So.
Are you looking when are you looking at their strengths and weaknesses in terms of what you think that their race strategies might be?
I'm honestly, no, I'm not really spending too much time looking at anybody else. When I'm in meet zone and I'm doing my thing, I'm just focused on myself and doing the things that I need to do, take care of.
I love it, man. I love that. How do you keep the tunnel vision once you're out there and you know, you got the flames going, the crowds going, the TVs are there, the cameras are there, the you know, the competition around you. How do you keep your tunnel vision?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like having a list of things to do, or just like knowing what your routine is. And that could be like if you're in a ready room and you know you're going to walk out, like if you have your clothes on, so it means you're walking to the block, you got to take your headphones off, and then you got to take your clothes off and put them in the box. And then like if you're doing all these things, then by the time you're done, you're up behind the block and you're ready to step up.
I like that. See, that's a detail. That's a detail that gets overlooked, but it's so important to your process, because it's like you're going through a checklist of things that keeps you present, keeps you locked into you. That's cool,
Yep.
man. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I was getting after. Sometimes you got to dig for it and,
Yeah.
and pulled it out of you. I like that, but it's so true. It's so true. In order to stay present, you got to have things that keep you present. Yeah. I love that. That's awesome, man. Well, listen, what's coming up then? What were you even considered for Doha?
What was when was the selection meet for that? Was that World?
I'm not exactly sure how the US
Was
did
that World
Doha. I think
Trials?
it may have gone off World Trials. Yeah.
And then I don't believe I was. I don't believe I got selected for that. That was just the Pan Am's selection then.
Right. So what do you got coming up between now and trials? What's the game plan?
I think we got a couple more Tier Pro series. I know we got a training block up in OTC again.
Oh, really?
We got we got some more things on the list, more places to go. But I think once the Tier Pro series are up, then it's kind of just head down, focus time.
Do you enjoy racing during the season in the lead up to big meets?
For sure, yeah. I think it gives like good benchmarks. Because I mean, it's kind of like comparative and to what the college season does. We definitely don't have the same frequency of meets as they do, but it kind of gives you like a good up and down on your training cycle, and like you hit meets and really hard times, and then you hit meets and maybe not a super hard time, and it just gives you different benchmarks across the season to see how things are going.
How do you know if you're on schedule or if you're ahead of schedule, or the things that are going to give you confidence in the lead up to trials, like when you stand behind the blocks knowing that you're completely ready to win that race? Like what are the things that you're looking for between now and then?
I mean, let's see. So at Knoxville that was a good showing. So I mean, more meets like Knoxville for me, some faster meets than that would be great. But I think a good part of that is just trusting the training and the work that you've put in, and then letting it all come together. Because I mean, you do all the work, you take care of all the things, you get there and you can prepare, and you're just going to do the best that you can do, and you'll see how it goes.
So. Are you feeling like this is your best season so far of work?
I would think so. I'm definitely working really hard at a really high level. I mean, I think this is definitely some of the best work I've ever put in, for sure.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, I appreciate your time today. Thanks for letting us dig in a little bit and kind of get inside Brooks Curry's head.
Of course, yeah.
There's a lot going on in there, man. That's good. So it's cool. It's cool to watch you swim. It's cool to watch you train and get to know you a bit. And then, man, it's going to be fun to watch you in Paris. I can't wait to see you put on the US jersey, man, and get after it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, and thanks for having me as well.
Yeah, appreciate it, mate. Take care, hey?
Thank you. Yeah, have a good rest of your day.
Bye.